There's no doubt that environmental stewardship and responsible business have risen dramatically up the corporate agenda in recent years. This has been driven by a number of factors, like consumer and NGO pressure, government regulation, increasing commodity prices, as well as perceptions of climate and environmental risk.
The relevance of green credentials to property, particularly as an investment class, continue to be much debated. A discernible shift in sentiment which suggests that a value differential may emerge between those properties which perform well compared to their peers in environmental terms has yet to be backed up by robust evidence in the UK market. So we've put this short video together to test current thinking and attitudes by asking some key industry figures for their perceptions, their views on the business case for sustainability and the relationship between sustainability and value right across the property supply chain.
Sustainability is a huge agenda, but if you bring it down to my role as an investment manager, it's simply just an investment risk.
The key to this will be having a detailed understanding of tenant demand and appreciating the risk of tenant flight.
The recession could be seen as a threat to the agenda in the regions, but instead I think it will be the catalyst to make the industry less wasteful.
I personally don't see the sustainability agenda as a risk. I actually see it as a clear opportunity for us. We know resources are going to get scarcer. We know energy prices are getting worse. There are going to be pressures. The people that get ahead on this curve will make fundamentally more money than the people who have to wake up later and suddenly realise they've got an unsustainable model. We fundamentally believe that if you are not sustainable, you can't have leadership.
Plan A has provided Marks & Spencer with a compelling business case to become more sustainable and a more moral business. It inspires our employees, it saves us money, and it's a no-brainer.
The case is very simple. We've been around for over 100 years. We'd like to be around for a few hundred more years.
To truly address the concerns of our age, we actually need to have a paradigm shift in thinking.
If you are going to make the current economic model work in the long term, you have to start doing things differently.
We tend to look at the past and expect the future to continue to run along the same lines. That's unlikely to remain the case.
We've started thinking of a business model that says how can we contribute to society and the environment, i.e. make it better for us to be successful.
Regulation is required for the market to move.
In the real world, this is likely to translate to an increased focus by landlords on existing stock.
Our job, as part of our investment process, is not only to comply with the legislation and the regulation coming out of the UK and coming out of Europe, but we have to anticipate.
What planning authorities perhaps need to be careful of is not over-requiring in regulatory format that leads to buildings and proposals being put together which don't actually necessarily achieve particularly clever sustainable outcomes.
The answers to these problems are not going to come through regulation, unfortunately. I think they're going to have to come from individuals and organisations deciding that this is the way that they want to move forward.
I think developers would like to think that all occupiers are much more engaged than they actually are.
There are occupiers who really want to be in a sustainable building because it's important to them reputationally, but there are also occupiers who just really don't care.
We're not really seeing a change in occupier preferences relating to sustainability, which I have to say is slightly disappointing.
We're sure that this will change as regulation and corporate compliance cultures increasingly bite.
Promoters of buildings, whether the developers or investors, are looking a little bit harder at other reasons why a business might benefit from occupying a really sustainable building.
The shopping environments our buildings create for our customers are central to the way we operate Plan A within property and encourage our customers to lead more sustainable lifestyles.
If you talk to people who are spending their own money, what they want to achieve with their investment is changing workplace styles, improving integration of their people, getting more out of their human assets.
And it's not really just about the building, it's about the surrounding area where the building is as well.
The sustainability agenda will be the cause that will unite the supply chain to work together and make the industry more effective.
We'd like landlords to collaborate with tenants, to lead and match our sustainability aspirations, to take a longer term view, a whole life view in the investments they make in the built environment.
The greater the range of innovative choices our landlords offer, the greater our ability to positively impact our carbon footprint and cost base.
The proliferation in regulatory requirements and the rapidly developing green expectations of corporate occupiers will mean that landlords will have to get more sophisticated about their offer.
At the moment, the Crown is thinking about occupier engagement. In the next year, we'll be setting targets with some interested occupiers who are willing to do this.
With 50% of our leases expiring in the next few years, we've got an opportunity to link our real estate and our environmental strategies in a way which we've never had before.
The so-called green premium, I think, has been quite unhelpful for the industry. It's directed a lot of attention into something that really misses the point.
Sustainably designed buildings have always performed better in the long term, with extended life cycles and lower obsolescence.
We are arguably already seeing a value differential emerging between so-called sustainable and less sustainable stock.
One wants to believe in a green premium, but I'm far more a believer in a brown discount.
With occupiers now prepared to pay for it in the rent and investors in the yield, there's no question that they will perform better going forward.
We're very good at quantifying the value of a square metre of floor space or a location, but what we're incredibly poor at is valuing the positive or negative effects that buildings have on the people that use them.